Hi, and welcome back to another installment of the MPH 540 Program Evaluation class. I have Bruce Giuliani here again, and we are going to go over some of the recommendations that you have posted in the Google Doc. So we're just going to go down the line one at a time, and I wanted to ask Bruce and have a little conversation about what you guys suggested before you give me your individual evaluation recommendations. Number one, to enhance recruitment of participants, people should travel to work sites,
Right.
people like you, should travel to work sites to promote the program and have an opportunity for people to sign up. This could then evolve into actually having the program on work sites, as to eliminate the barrier of people having to travel in order to participate, like we talked about last week.
Right, and I think that's a good recommendation. We're probably not that far along yet, but I think that probably is a good recommendation. It would make it much easier. Now, the problem I see with that, if you go to a site and half the staff is going to attend the class, then you lose whatever production that is. So typically we would do these classes at either early, first thing in the morning or last thing in the evening during work hours, but still first or the end of shift. So that's part of the problem. The other thing, a lot of our work is seasonal. So this would be ideal. This recommendation would be ideal to do in the off season. Problem with that, a lot of the employees who work during the season, as soon as the season ends and they get laid off, they all move to Florida and stay down there until spring when work comes back and they show up again. So
that's more of the construction workers.
the construction and the mine side of
Mining
things.
too?
Yes.
Oh.
So it's, I think it's doable. I think that's doable.
Okay. All right. Next question, or next recommendation. Make the program available on a web-based information exchange site and have participants interact with the instructor and smoking cessation peers, other people who are trying to quit, through tools like Skype, Google Hangout, in order to address travel and time commitment conflicts.
Right. And this is already set up through the American Lung Association. They have their own site. We are just a licensee of them, but they have this on site. They have 24-hour call service where you can call and talk to a American Lung Association professional about smoking cessation. You can do all of the online classes that they have available. So we have that, I believe, most of that.
So American Lung offers it.
Yes,
and
they
as
already
a
offer that, yes.
licensed program.
Yes.
You, of course, have it too.
Yes.
Okay. All right. 3, to improve enrollment and programming, Heritage Group needs to link communication between increased costs of benefits for current smokers and provided freedom from smoking programming. So basically, associate your smokers with the cost they're going to face, which is the
Right.
increased monthly premium for health insurance. So by reminding them of the stiff disincentive, the $100, current smokers may opt in to either an on-site or a web-based or a phone-type support. And I think the recommendation is that this would increase enrollment. So what do you think?
Well, I think it would, but we're already doing that. There are mailings that go out that we're going through the process right now of signing up for benefits for next year. And so all of this is sent to every single employee. It's
So information
communicated.
about the freedom from smoking program option.
Yes, it's all communicated to them. The cost is communicated to them. So I think we're already doing that.
Okay. And so this ties into one that comes later, the next one. So send copies of freedom from smoking information and enrollment forms to employee homes. So a physical copy in the mail.
Yes.
And this communication also offer programming to family members of the employee, also likely enrolled under their health insurance plan. This should offer immediate support to employees and increase number of enrolled, all while improving the chance of successful cessation.
Right, and all that's been done. We mail forms, we email forms.
So physical copy and
Physical copies went to
as well
every
as
employee. In fact, there was we started doing these mailings in November of 15. So
almost a year ago now.
yeah, so they've had numerous mailings of this.
Because this is the second time we've offered it.
This
so,
is the second go around. Yes.
Okay. They've had a year of
Yes.
receiving physical copies and electronic.
Yes.
Okay. Communicate with American Lung Association to find companies similar to Heritage Group that have had success with freedom from smoking programming and adapt the program framework and materials to Heritage Group companies.
Right, and basically that's what American Lung does. They format their entire program based on successful programs. So when you sign up to be a licensee of them, they give you a lot of that information. So I have a lot of that information about how, and our program was set up like other successful companies, with the mailings and the emails and etc., and with the classes.
So one question on that though, because one thing we've talked about is that Asphalt Materials,
Yes.
the Heritage Group of companies, has multiple companies internationally, and that's one of the challenges in implementing a program like this, because you have a diverse workforce spread across large geographic regions. So
Yes.
does American Lung have any suggestions or past experience operating a program in a similar, very widespread company?
Yes, I mean, they've worked with some companies much larger than us. I mean, we only have around 5,000 employees, and they've worked with companies with 20,000. So, yeah, they have plenty of experience with this.
Okay, all right. Find, number 6, find accurate number of smokers in mining and construction groups and focus on-site programming on the companies with the highest numbers, rates of smokers. So they would be prioritizing certain populations.
Right, and that's one of those things that's very difficult. Under HIPAA rules, I can't ask people. It'd be like me asking if your family had a history of cancer when you're signing up for the health program. I can't ask you if you're a smoker, because the only way we're really going to find out, I mean, really find out, if you don't self-report, is through the doctor. Everybody has an annual physical every year in, year out, and we get a statement from the doctor that can tell us whether you're a smoker or not.
I think it's a little counterintuitive that an employer can get this kind of information from a provider, and yet you can't ask the question.
Right.
But if that's the way the law works, then
That's the way it works.
this is the game. Okay. Number 7. Upon watching the video from last week, I assume, there is essentially a need for further assessing the need of the smoking program. As a trainer, the program mentioned, one of the main barriers of the program is getting people to decide that they want to quit smoking. I think time should be spent collecting data in the locations where the program is wanting to target. Evidence-based research will be able to support the need of the program in the target populations and possibly be more successful recruiting participants. So what I think this is saying is collecting more data in sort of your high-risk populations.
Right. Which is construction and mining, I think.
But what I think it doesn't say is asking how many people are interested in quitting.
Right. And there's no way to know that. Smoke. Everybody understands all the downfall of smoking. Everybody knows it'll kill you early. But that doesn't seem to matter to a lot of people at this point.
We know from health behavior research that just knowing something, having the facts,
Right.
the education does not equal change. Education does not equal
Right.
change in behavior at all.
Right.
And this is a prime example of that.
Right. And I think, because a lot of people, they use smoking as a crutch for dealing with stress, dealing with other problems. So to just say, we'll ask who wants to quit. Everybody wants to quit until push comes to shove. And then, you get down to it. Even the $100 a month, I don't know is enough of a
Penalty?
deterrent or penalty, if you will. Because there's a lot of people say, well, it's $100 and I can't quit this. So I don't know that's enough.
Okay, so the next one, number 8, we need to develop ways to, quote, incentivize the decision to quit smoking, whether through data and statistics, health facts, or behavior change. So this is very similar.
Yeah, same question, basically.
It's the same recommendation. Do some research. Look out there. Tell me what you find about what tips the scale so people make the choice to quit smoking. It's not education. It's not access to cessation programs. It's probably, right?
Right.
It's not,
Well, what I've seen talking to people make the decision to quit based on 2 or 3 different life-changing actions. One, this is a recent person I've been dealing with since the class started. This is another person. Went in for a colonoscopy, had some problems, had been smoking since he was 8.
8 years old.
Yes. Everybody thought it was cute when he was smoking
Not
at 8.
cute.
Anyway, his doctor just flat out told him, because of polyps, etc.
And how old is this person now?
He's 50.
Okay. 42 years.
And he told me, he says, you're going to die. If you don't quit, you're going to die. He came to me, told me, and he says, I'm quitting. So I see that. In my last class, kind of the main reason was for both of those individuals in that last class, they had children. They just had babies born. And they decided that they needed to not have smoking around their newborn children.
Kids.
So a life-changing thing, and they made the decision.
Now the other option that we've kind of talked about is people either have kids or there's a physician or a provider that just kind of gives them a wake up call.
Right.
Well, what about family?
Oh, sure.
Peer pressure.
I'm sure there's family. I'm dealing with people right now that, the family wants them to quit, the kids, and that's a really important thing. Kids are pushing their parents to quit smoking. They understand the hazards of it. They watch television and pay attention to everything. So they're pushing that. And a lot of the people that I have talked with and gone through never smoke around their kids. That's not true. I see a lot of people smoking in their car with their kids, but
which is now illegal.
it's illegal. But I would think that, at least if they make the choice to not smoke in the car with the kids, that they really understand the hazards of it.
Okay.
They're just not willing to quit themselves personally, but they're not willing to put it on their kids. And I appreciate that.
Okay, that's one thing. But I do have to say that even if you smoke, all of those carcinogens and heavy metals stay on your clothing and skin and hair. So, and actually,
Yes.
It could be worse than secondhand smoke. So just not smoking around kids or family does not mean you are providing a safe environment free from the risk of tobacco.
Right.
BSA. Okay. Now I want to pause here though real quick because you mentioned you have one person enrolled in this session.
Right.
But since this one started, other people have come to you, right?
Yes.
And they either just didn't make the sign up, they had their aha moment after the session started.
Right.
Do you anticipate them joining you at a later time?
Well, I'm putting together another class for them
Okay.
to try to get them
To
going.
begin.
Right.
To begin when though?
I haven't got that whole.
Oh.
We haven't got a date set yet. I'm trying to get the numbers put together so that we can coordinate. Part of the problem that we talked about in the first recommendation was the multiple sites we're talking about. I got several people that have called me, but there are multiple sites. So I've got one site that there's only 13 people there, and I believe I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna bet 11 of them smoke.
What do they do? What side is this?
This is the landfill.
Landfill.
And so I can see where that I may end up just doing a class out there just for that group. But the part of the problem is getting other people convinced that, hey, I'm gonna come out and do this class. You need to sign up. So I'm gonna have to kind of go that route with them.
Okay.
I got a couple, but I'm gonna have to,
You need the majority.
I need the majority. If I'm gonna go out there and do a class, I'd rather get at least 4 or 5 of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. No, number 9. There needs to be a more public awareness drawn to Freedom from Smoking's online basic program and the Freedom from Smoking online premium program. This is essentially a cornerstone of of Freedom from Smoking, and there needs to be more attention brought to it. Do you feel like you've?
Well, I think we've covered that. I mean, with all the mailings, with Freedom from Smoking mailings. In fact, I mean, I have people that work for me. They really get upset that we send so many mailings because they would prefer just email it
Instead of physically
mailing all of the material, because you need to understand when we mail a booklet and it's going to cost $1.05 for bulk rate times 5,000 employees, and then these people, and I have people who work for me are looking at it as this is potential money that we could have for retirement accounts, our other
costing the bid, right?
Yes, it costs a lot of money. So a lot of people. Now the other side of that, we have a lot of people in our business who are not computer savvy, if you will.
Right.
I mean, mainly the construction guys and the quarry guys. I mean, we've run them all through classes just on how to do basic computer and stuff like that, because that's not something that they just deal with regularly.
So that's a good note. I want to stop there for a minute because some of these recommendations really reference computer use or make the assumption that the audience has regular access to, one, a computer, and two, internet. And that's not the case. I
No.
mean, I sit at a computer all day. You
I
spend
see
a great
a lot
deal
of time, yes.
of time in a computer. I imagine, I mean, you guys are at a master's level program. You have college degrees. We spend a lot of time in front of a computer, and that is not the case
Right.
for...
We have a lot of employees who, have high school diplomas and not anything else.
And their
and-
work does not
Well,
include...
No, and they're good workers, but it doesn't include anything to do with the computer, what they working.
Right,
And a lot of them like it that way.
right.
They prefer that.
Which is fine, but the intervention needs to be sensitive to the fact that they're not at a desk.
Right.
They can't just check their email, they can't check Facebook, they're not gonna log on
Right.
and
No.
Google something because it came across their mind
Right.
at lunch.
No,
That's not how their day works.
that's not how their day works.
Okay. Okay, 10. We need to partner Freedom from Smoking with other smoking cessation services and or programs within the Indy metro area, such as Quit Now, Indiana Tobacco Quit Line, St. Vincent's Tobacco Cessation Program. There is a power in numbers, and by teaming up with other programs, it will really reinforce the message and bring awareness to freedom from smoking.
And there's probably some good thoughts there. The St. Vincent program is already part of this. My contacts with American Lung are actually through St. Vincent's program, so it's the same thing.
So this is kind of already happening.
Yes, it's already happening. But
Okay.
I mean, you got to remember when you're a licensee, we've agreed to teach the American Lung Association version of this. I don't know Quit Now Indiana's program. I don't know what it is exactly. But I can't change the program I'm doing because we have agreed not to.
Right.
Although, I mean, there are areas where I could tell you that we could improve the program that we're teaching, but we're not supposed to change things because they've got 30 years of experience on this
And
program.
data
And
going
data
into-
back and saying this works, do it exactly this way. And so we've agreed to do it that way.
And so you went to a training to,
Yes.
and how long was that training?
We went, I had one of my other guys, and we had other people from the company going to do this. And it was a week.
Mm-hmm. So 40-hour type.
Yeah.
Training.
It wasn't quite 40, but yeah.
Okay. So it's pretty extensive training.
Yes.
And did you pay anything to get this?
Yes.
You did pay. So
Yes.
Heritage Group
The Heritage Company paid for all of us to go to the
okay,
class.
to attend.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. So 11. There needs to be more awareness to the consequences of smoking. This could include the increase in insurance, so the premium, the monthly premium increase, as well as re-emphasizing the importance of quitting due to health benefits. I also think there needs to be more explanation of the program. Employers, okay, so I'm gonna stop. Let's pop right there. We know smoking is bad for you. We know it kills you. It has killed you for a long time. It's on the pack. It's everywhere you look. There's billboards, shock messaging. So again, think back to your health behavior theory. Education does not equate to behavior change.
Right.
Okay, so the second part of the recommendation. I also think there needs to be more explanation of the program. Employers need to find the benefits of freedom from smoking. I also agree with everyone else that we need to find a way to impact everyone since the classes are only offered at certain times and locations. Could people Skype in? So that's similar. We've heard that kind
Right.
of technology.
Right. And I think that's something that we need to look at. We just now implemented company-wide Skype for Business.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's something that we can possibly work out here shortly.
You could pilot it,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, we could try that.
Okay. And probably depending on your audience, if you had someone who was in a more professional office.
Yes.
But at
For those people, it
distance-
works.
Yeah.
But again, that doesn't work for my mining or construction guys.
No, doesn't solve that problem.
No.
Okay. So the last one, number 12. Making a program easily accessible at any time is important. If there was a social media section of the group, members could see posts, tweets, photos, etc. anytime they are on social media as a reminder of the group and presumably their commitment to quitting smoking. In addition, seeing posts, making an online conversation via Facebook could be helpful. Professionals to post daily tips, as well as members to communicate with each other about how the program is working and ask them for advice. I like this
Right.
one.
I think it's going, but again, American Lung does this. When we start talking about people who are really computer savvy. It's not me, obviously. I mean, I deal with them all the time, but some of the new, I don't tweet and Facebook and all of that stuff. But I'm not saying that's not something we can do. I can get some of the other people to do that. But I'm not that person.
Well, that's all right. We've got to delegate. So I like this suggestion. I think that depending on the individual, this could be a good source of support, and it's available 24/7, much like a quit line. But some people may be less likely to call a quit line if they're just thinking about smoking, but they might pick up their phone and scroll through, a closed Facebook group, or I don't tweet either, but a Twitter following or something like that. Before they would get to the point that they need to call the quit line support.
I think it would give them an opportunity to check into stuff. If there was a Facebook page for this or whatever, they could kind of get involved without really committing themselves or putting their name out there that,
hey, I'm on the verge of smoking again.
I'm the smoker and I want to quit. So I can see that.
So one thing you might want to consider making a recommendation for is on all these mailings, because we're hearing there's a lot of mailings and physical and electronic. Create a heritage group, Freedom from Smoking closed Facebook group maybe, or you could come up with something, and then it's a very passive way for people to gain information about what the program offers. They could think about quitting. If they could see who was on there, they might find someone who works in their area, who is considering it or who has gone through the program. It might promote some social connections there.
And it would, and again, for those that
use social media,
that work on social media, again, a lot of the people don't. Older people don't, I'm saying.
The miners and the construction workers?
A lot of them don't.
You don't
the young guys do.
I'm guessing
I'm going to say the under 30s, but
okay.
I don't know. I just don't know. I've not asked them about.
So think about that.
Facebook.
Think about whether or not what you want to do with that information. Do you want to pilot it? Do you want to collect some data on it? How are you going to collect that data? So think about that when you make your recommendations. So this week I want you to give me individual recommendations for this program. So think about the 3 videos we've had. Think about what you've read. You can do more research on health behavior theory as it contributes to smoking cessation, and freedom from smoking program generally from American Lung. And those are due on the assignments tab at 11:55 on Sunday. Thanks.